Hello guys, welcome to FIN, that's FINN Educational Center. I'm Mr. Monko, one of the experts here to take you through integrated science. Today I would like us to look at the first topic in integrated science, that's matter, and we are going to look at the meaning of matter. Then we step to atom, element, molecule, compound, atomicity, and then we'll try to look at how to represent atoms. So you see that I have my world here. Anytime you tune into FIN and then you see world, it means we are learning to. So we are learning to know the meaning of matter. We are learning to know the meaning of compound. I'll start with matter. Matter is one of the basic topics that we treat as a science topic. But I want us to look at what it means. The world is made up of materials. Now, one of the key things I want us to look at when we are defining matter is we need to look at the volume that is occupied by materials, and then we'll look at the mass that is also occupied by materials. So in brief, anything that occupies volume. I remember in my school days, my teacher used to say space. So anything occupying volume or space and then has mass is what we are going to describe as matter. So we are going to establish that matter is anything that has volume and then mass. Now, one thing that we need to look at is what are some of the examples of matter? Some of the examples. You can look around, and then because I'm a teacher, the first example that I'm going to give is chalk. The first example I'm going to give is chalk. I'm sure stone, somebody has thought about it. I'm sure somebody is also thinking about book or a phone, an iPhone. Good. All these are examples of matter. Now there's something clear here. Once you tell me an example of matter, I want us to look at one of the features of a human being. Every human being is curious, wanting to know. So what I want us to do is that we look at chalk or we take stone. Now when we take stone or chalk, I want us to know the particles that are found in these examples. So the best thing to do is to break it down. So I'm curious, you've given me chalk or stone as an example of matter. What I want to do is to break it down. Now when I break it down, of course, I will not break it down and get a particle that is even. I want to get a particle that is the smallest. So when I break it down, I'm looking at the smallest particle. We then come back to science. And when we're in JHS, we looked at the definition or what an atom is, or the name we give to the smallest particle. So we have an example of matter. We break it down, we get the smallest particle, and that is what we refer to as atom. I want you to get it well. In your class, the cutest, I said the cutest, not the smallest, the cutest boy there, the cutest girl there, are most of the times referred to as atom. It is because when you break the class into the smallest unit, or we pick one person, that person is the smallest member. So anytime you have an example of matter and then you break it down, the smallest particle that you get, we call it an atom. So the definition for an atom in full is the smallest particle from matter. Note it, the key words that we are looking for in any examination is the smallest particle. So that is for matter. And then atom. I think we can move on. We can move on to, since we've realized what an atom is, we can move on. We've concluded that atom is the smallest particle. So if I tell you these are atoms, these are atoms. Each one is an atom. These are all atoms. I can tell you that these are atoms. Now, what we need to do is, can we look at what an element is? What an element is? It's simple. Before you can form an element, what you need is two or more of these of the same kind. Two or more of these of the same kind. So element is two or more atoms. Don't forget this, of the same kind. Of the same kind. So when I pick this atom 1 and I add this to it, it becomes an element. But note that if I pick this atom and then I add this to it, although these are atoms, that is not an element because they are not of the same kind. This is made up of circles and this, I have lines that have been slanted. Note that. So that's the definition. These are simple definitions that almost every year questions are asked on in WAEC, but students refuse to take it, and it is being repeated because most of the students get it wrong. So keep this, two or more atoms of the same kind. Then I move on to molecule. The same vein. Most students try to interchange or assume that this definition can pass for molecule. It's not true. Yes, molecules are made up of two or more atoms of the same. Good. This is where the problem comes. So it's either the same or different kind. Kindly note it. Because if I have hydrogen, these are two atoms of hydrogen, and that is a molecule. Because this is the same as one hydrogen atom plus another hydrogen atom. But on the other hand, if I have H2O, that's also a molecule, and it's made up of hydrogen atom, another hydrogen atom, and oxygen. Here, all these atoms are the same, so two or more atoms of the same kind. But when you look at hydrogen, oxygen, you find out that they are not the same. So it doesn't mean this is not a molecule, it is a molecule. But when you are defining it, make sure you bring either the same or different kind.